Don't argue with my mother, and if you can't handle it, just leave. Those words came from my fiancée Hannah at Thanksgiving dinner after I'd politely defended myself one time. So I smiled, said okay, stood up, and walked out the door right then and there. But here's the thing, when I said I was leaving, I meant permanently. And the apartment we lived in, yeah, that was 100% in my name. I'm Arvin, 30, data analyst at a logistics company in Charlotte, making around 88K. My fiancée Hannah is 28, respiratory therapist making about 75K. We've been together 3 years, engaged for 8 months, living together for the past year and a half in my apartment that I'd been renting solo before she moved in. Hannah always warned me about her mother. Mom likes to test people. Just don't react, okay, doctor? Lorraine West, early 60s, all about status and appearances. She's made comments about my ordinary career path and how I should be more ambitious like Grant. Grant is Hannah's older brother, works in finance, makes more, classic golden child. I should have seen the red flags when Hannah kept saying I needed her mother's approval. But I loved Hannah, thought we were building something real. Thanksgiving this year was at Lorraine's house. Big spread, fancy china, the whole production. Everything was fine until dessert. So Arvin, Lorraine started, Hannah tells me you're still at that same company, no promotions yet. I got a raise last year. The work's solid and I'm good at what I do. She smiled that smile. That's nice, dear, and you're still renting. Grant already owned his first condo at your age. Hannah shot me a warning look. I kept my cool. I'm comfortable financially, not rushing into buying just to buy. Wine sip. Hannah's father and I bought our first home at 26. Different generations have different priorities, I suppose. Some people are just more driven. That stung, but I stayed composed. I'm proud of being self-reliant and financially stable. That shows drive. The temperature dropped 20 degrees. Lorraine's smile vanished. Hannah's eyes went wide. Hannah grabbed my arm. Can I talk to you? She dragged me into the hallway before I could answer. What are you doing? She hissed. I stated a fact about my own life. You contradicted my mother at her table on Thanksgiving, genuinely angry, not at her mother for the insults, but at me for not taking them. Hannah, she called me unambitious to my face, in front of everyone. She didn't mean it like that. You're being too sensitive. So what do you want me to do? She crossed her arms. Don't argue with my mother, and if you can't handle it, just leave. I looked at her for a long moment, 3 years together, engaged, and she chose her mother's right to disrespect me over my basic dignity. Okay, I said. I walked back in, grabbed my jacket, said to the whole table, thanks for having me, I'm heading out. Lorraine looked triumphant. Hannah's face went from angry to confused. Arvin, wait, you told me if I couldn't handle it I should leave, so I'm leaving. I drove back to our apartment, my apartment to be exact, in silence. Phone started blowing up halfway. Hannah's texts. You're being ridiculous. You're embarrassing me. This is so childish. Not one apology. Not one, are you okay? Just anger that I'd made her look bad. I sat in my apartment looking around. The lease, my name, the furniture, almost entirely mine. The utilities, internet, parking, all my accounts. Hannah had moved into my established life. I checked our wedding planning email. That's when I saw it in her inbox, still logged in on my laptop. An email chain from 3 weeks ago. Lorraine had sent Hannah a prenup template and questions about my financial history. Hannah had been corresponding with a lawyer, never mentioned it to me. The prenup wasn't the problem, prenups are smart. It was the subject line, protecting you from a mediocre match. I stared at my screen for 20 minutes. Everything clicked. The Thanksgiving ambush wasn't spontaneous. Lorraine was testing whether I'd submit to disrespect. Hannah warning me not to react wasn't about peace. It was about proving I'd roll over whenever mommy flexed. I opened my laptop and started Googling moving companies with weekend availability. Hannah's blowing up my phone like I burned the house down instead of just taking her literally when she said to leave. Well, now she's about to watch everything burn to ashes. Update 1. Posted 4 days later, sorry for delay. Took a personal day to handle logistics and honestly needed time to process. Thursday night after I discovered that prenup email, I didn't sleep. Made a list of everything in the apartment that was mine versus hers. Turned out about 85% was mine. Friday morning, Hannah was still at her mother's, too upset to come home, whatever that meant. I called out of work, called a moving company, found one that does last-minute jobs, cost extra but worth it. First, building management. Lady named Stephanie has handled our lease for 2 years. Asked about not renewing when lease was up in January. Straightforward, just needs 60-day notice. I gave it. Asked if Hannah was on the lease. Nope, my name and my name only. Has anyone else called about the apartment recently? Stephanie paused. Actually, yes. Tuesday morning, a woman called asking about tenant rights and changing locks. Said she was your fiancé's mother. I told her I could only discuss lease matters with the named tenant. Tuesday. That was 2 days before Thanksgiving. Lorraine had already been planning something. Friday was like running a military operation, called electric, gas, water, internet, all my name. Set transfer for December 1st. Streaming accounts, passwords changed. Parking pass transferred to just my car. Shared credit card, my account, her authorized user, removed her. Started packing essentials, clothes, laptop, documents, gaming setup, sentimental stuff. Saturday morning, movers came. Rented storage unit, moved out my bedroom furniture, couch, TV, kitchen stuff. Left her with basics, her dresser, the cheap coffee table, some chairs. Apartment looked completely different. Sunday evening text. On my way home, we need to talk. I wasn't there. Already checked into a hotel Saturday night. But I left something for her. On the counter, an envelope, copy of lease showing my name only, copy of 60-day notice. Note, you told me to leave if I couldn't handle your family's disrespect. I'm leaving. Lease ends January 31st. Find other arrangements. Your belongings are safe. Schedule pickup time. Ring is in the box. Arvin. Left the engagement ring. 3-month salary, custom designed, but I wasn't keeping it. Phone started ringing around 8 p.m. Sunday. I didn't answer. Texts, where is everything? Arvin, answer your phone. You can't just leave. This is my home too, I texted once. Check the envelope. Lease is in my name. I'm leaving per your instruction. Everything is legal. Don't contact me except to arrange getting your belongings. Radio silence for 6 hours. Then Monday morning, different tone. Okay, I overreacted. Can we talk? Arvin, I'm sorry I was harsh. My mom was just being protective. We can work through this if you come back. Still nothing about telling me to leave. Nothing about the prenup investigation. Just sorry for being harsh. Tuesday morning, message from Hannah's friend Jess. Hey Arvin, Hannah's been telling people you couldn't handle her family's success and her mom had to intervene because you weren't stable. Is that true? It didn't sound like the you that I know, so I thought you should know. Blood went cold. Hannah wasn't embarrassed her mother insulted me. She was embarrassed I didn't submit. Now she was rewriting the story to make me the unstable one. I forwarded Jess's message to Hannah. Tell the truth or I will. 5 minutes. You're threatening me now. I'm giving you a chance to be honest with our mutual friends. She called. I answered. Arvin, you abandoned me before the holidays. You told me to leave. I didn't mean literally. What did you mean then? Explain what just leave means, if not go away. She couldn't. She just kept saying I should have known she didn't mean it, that I was supposed to calm down and then come back and apologize to her mother. Apologize to Lorraine, the woman who called me mediocre and unambitious at her dinner table. Did you tell your friends I'm unstable? I asked. Silence. Did you tell them your mother had to intervene because I couldn't handle success? I was upset. Yes or no? Yes. But Arvin, I hung up before she could finish that sentence. Yesterday, I thought this was about standing up for myself. Now I'm realizing Hannah's family operates on this twisted power dynamic where someone has to be less than for everyone else to feel superior. And she wanted me to be that person, but I'm not even angry anymore, just tired and relieved, like I dodged something massive. Update 2. Posted 5 days later. Wi-Fi at my new place just got installed. Sorry for delay. Honestly needed a few days because what happened when Hannah returned was a lot. So, Tuesday evening. Hannah went back to the apartment after spending a few more days at her mom's place. I wasn't there. I was at my buddy Marcus's place helping him prep for his kid's birthday party, trying to stay busy. My phone started going off around 7 p.m. Arvin, where is the couch? Where is the bed? Did you take everything? The TV is gone. Even the dresser is gone. Then voice calls. About 12 of them. I let them ring. Then I texted back. Everything I owned before you moved in, I took. Your furniture and belongings are still there. Lease ends January 31. I left instructions in the envelope. She called again. This time I answered. You can't do this to me. She was crying, but it was the angry kind. You can't just take everything and leave me with nothing. I wasn't doing anything to you. I just took my belongings from my apartment that I'm moving out of. Arvin, I can't afford this place alone. You know that. And there it was, not I'm sorry for how I treated you. Not can we fix this, just panic about money. You should have thought about that before you told me to leave, I said and hung up. Then the mother got involved. Of course she did. Wednesday morning my phone rang from a number I didn't have saved but recognized Lorraine's cell. I almost didn't answer. Curiosity got me. Arvin, this is Dr. West. We need to discuss your unacceptable behavior. Not hi, not even pretending it's civility. I don't think we have anything to discuss, I said. You abandoned my daughter right before the holidays over a simple family disagreement. That's not how adults handle problems. Your daughter told me to leave. I left. I'm not sure what part of that confuses you. Don't be smart with me. Hannah is devastated. You've left her without a home. She has a home until January 31st, and the home she lived in was mine, which she seems to have forgotten. You're being petty and vindictive. A real man wouldn't tolerate being insulted at dinner and told to leave if he had a problem with it. Ma'am, I think we're done here. I hung up. My hand was shaking, not gonna lie. I've never spoken to someone's parent like that before, but damn, it felt necessary. Then yesterday, things escalated. I went back to the building to get my mail forwarded and ran into Stephanie from building management. She looked uncomfortable when she saw me. Arvin, hey, can we talk for a second? We stepped into her office. She pulled up something on her computer. Monday morning, the day before Thanksgiving, someone called asking very specific questions about your lease. A Dr. Lorraine West. She wanted to know if Hannah had any legal right to stay if you moved out. She asked about changing the locks. She asked if there were any loopholes to add someone to a lease retroactively. My stomach dropped. Monday, before Thanksgiving. Yes, I logged it because it felt odd. She was pretty pushy about it. I told her repeatedly I could only discuss account matters with you, but she kept pressing. She specifically asked, if my daughter's fiancé abandoned the apartment, could she stay? This wasn't a spontaneous Thanksgiving meltdown. This was planned. Lorraine had already been working on contingency plans for getting me out and keeping Hannah in my apartment. I thanked Stephanie and left. My head was spinning. The Thanksgiving insults were a test. If I'd submitted and apologized, I'd have proven I could be controlled. If I'd exploded and left, they probably had planned to use my absence as abandonment to keep Hannah in the apartment and push me out of my own lease. But I did the one thing they didn't expect. I left calmly and immediately started doing everything legally and correctly. They couldn't paint me as unstable if I was following all the proper procedures. That night, Hannah texted me. Can we please meet and talk? I miss you. I think we can fix this. I didn't respond for a few hours. Then, talk about what? About us, about the wedding, about fixing this. I know things got out of hand. What specifically got out of hand? My mom was too harsh and you got upset, but we can work through it if you're willing to try. Notice what's missing. Any acknowledgement that she told me to leave. Any apology for the prenup investigation. Any recognition that she's been telling people I'm unstable. I wrote back, I'm willing to talk on one condition. You tell me the truth about the prenup your mom was preparing and the lawyer you were emailing. Read receipt. 3 dots appeared and disappeared. Then, how did you see that? Your email was open on my laptop when I was checking our wedding email. You want to explain why your mother was preparing a prenup with the subject line, protecting you from a mediocre match. No response for an hour. Then, that was my mom's idea. I didn't agree with how she phrased it, but Arvin, prenups are normal, you're overreacting. Were you going to tell me about it? Eventually, when the time was right. And when would that be? After I apologized to your mother for daring to defend myself. See, this is the problem. You're making everything about ego. My mother cares about me and wants to make sure I'm protected. If you really loved me, you'd understand that. And honestly, you should apologize to her. She's hurt by how you stormed out." I should apologize to her. I called her. She answered on the first ring. "Hannah, let me be crystal clear. I will not now or ever apologize to your mother for leaving after being disrespected. I will not pretend that I'm the problem here, and I will not come back to a relationship where you prioritize your mother's control over our partnership. So that's it, you're just giving up on us. You gave up on us when you told me to leave instead of defending me to your mother. Fine, if that's how you want it." Her voice changed, got colder. "You know what, Arvin? My family was right about you. You don't have what it takes. You're going to regret this when you're alone and I've moved on. I'd rather be alone than disrespected in my own relationship. Goodbye, Hannah." I hung up and blocked her number. But then, this morning, I found out something that made my blood boil. Hannah had written a long post on Facebook about how her fiancé abandoned her right before the holidays and left her homeless because he couldn't handle her family's success. She painted me as a jealous, controlling guy who isolated her and then kicked her out of our home because her mother asked normal questions about his career. I've got screenshots. The post has like 60 sympathetic comments. People I know, mutual friends, everyone thinking I'm some kind of monster. I'm sitting here staring at my phone and I'm realizing I need to protect myself here. She's building a narrative. If I don't say something, this becomes the truth everyone believes, so I'm making a decision. Tomorrow I'm sending one message to the people who matter, just the facts, just the proof. Hannah wants to make this public, fine, but the truth goes public too. Final update, posted 6 days later. Car broke down Tuesday, had to deal with that before I could update. Thanks for patience. Deep breath, here's how it ended. After seeing Hannah's Facebook post painting me as an abusive monster who made her homeless, I spent Monday night deciding what to do. I'm not a public drama guy, never have been, but I also wasn't going to let lies define me. Tuesday morning, I sent one message to a small group: Hannah, Lorraine, Grant, Hannah's brother, and about 5 mutual friends who'd commented on her post. Just facts. No drama. I attached. Screenshot of Hannah's text: "Don't argue with my mother, and if you can't handle it, just leave." Screenshot of the prenup email chain with "protecting you from a mediocre match." Subject line: screenshot of Jess's message about Hannah calling me unstable copy of my lease, showing only my name, my message. I left because I was told to leave after being insulted. I removed my belongings from my apartment that I've rented alone for 4 years. I gave 60 days notice per the lease. I'm not abandoning anyone, I'm choosing self-respect. These are facts. I sent it and turned off my phone for 3 hours. When I turned it back on, my inbox was chaos. 2 of the mutual friends apologized immediately, said they didn't know the full story. One girl, Amy, sent, "Holy shit, Arvin, I'm so sorry. I had no idea she told you to leave." Grant, Hannah's brother, called me. I almost didn't answer. "Arvin, it's Grant. Can we talk?" "I don't think there's anything to say, man." "There is. Look, I need to tell you something I should have said at Thanksgiving." He sighed hard. "My mom did this to my ex-girlfriend 4 years ago. Different details, same pattern. She tested her, pushed her, waited for her to either submit or break. When my ex finally pushed back, my mom made her life hell until she left. I should have warned you. I should have stopped it. I'm sorry. I didn't know what to say. My mom has this thing," Grant continued, "where she needs to be the authority in her kids' relationships. If she can't control your partner, she makes you choose them or us. Hannah always chooses mom. Why didn't you say something?" "Because I'm a coward. I keep the peace by keeping my head down and my wife far away from family drama." "But you didn't deserve what happened. And Hannah knew exactly what she was doing when she told you to leave. That's the script. Give you an impossible situation, then blame you for how you react." We talked for 20 more minutes. Grant told me their dad divorced Lorraine years ago partly because of this behavior. He told me Hannah's last serious relationship ended the same way. Guy couldn't handle the family dynamics and bailaid. "You did the right thing leaving," Grant said. "I just wish I'd had your balls when it happened to me." After we hung up, I saw Hannah had posted a new message. "Due to personal attacks and private matters being shared without consent, I'm taking a break from social media. Thank you to everyone who supported me. She deleted the original post. Lorraine tried calling twice Wednesday. I didn't answer. Then Thursday, something unexpected happened. Hannah's text came through from a number I didn't have blocked. Can we meet in person, please? No parents, no friends, just us. Against my better judgment, I agreed. We met at a neutral coffee shop Friday afternoon. She looked tired, didn't have that put-together look she usually maintained. She sat down across from me and just stared at her coffee for a full minute before talking. I'm not going to apologize for my mother, she said finally. I didn't expect you to, but I should apologize for telling you to leave. I was angry and I wanted you to back down and you didn't, and I said something I didn't mean. Did you really not mean it? Or did you mean it but didn't expect me to actually do it? She looked up at me. I thought you'd cool off and come back and we'd fix it like we always do. Hannah, your mother called my property manager before Thanksgiving to ask about evicting me from my own apartment. Did you know that? Her face went pale. What? Monday before Thanksgiving. She was already planning how to get rid of me if I didn't fall in line. The whole dinner was a setup. That's not. She wouldn't. She did. I have the call log. This was never about Thanksgiving. This was about control. Hannah sat there processing. Then quietly, she just wants what's best for me. And I didn't qualify as what's best. You would've if you just tried harder with her. There it was, the truth. I would have been acceptable if I'd been willing to be subordinate to Lorraine forever. I need to ask you something, I said. Did you love me? Or did you love the idea of getting married and I was available? She looked like I'd slapped her. That's not fair. Answer it. Long pause, then. I don't know, I think. I think I loved what we could have been if you'd been willing to compromise. Compromise means both people give something up. You wanted me to give up my dignity while you gave up nothing. She started crying, not the angry crying from before, real tears. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I just wanted everyone to get along. At my expense, always at my expense. We sat in silence for a while. She finished her coffee, wiped her eyes. What happens now? She asked. You find a new place by end of January. We split whatever wedding deposits are refundable, eat the cost on the rest. You keep your stuff, I keep mine, we're done. Just like that. Hannah, it was just like that the moment you told me to leave. Everything after has just been the logistics. She nodded slowly, stood up. For what it's worth, I hope you find someone who fits better with what you need. I hope you figure out what you actually want, separate from what your mother wants. She left. I sat there for another hour just processing. About a week later, Grant texted. Mom tried spinning the story to her friends, said you were unstable and she protected Hannah. Someone showed them your receipts. Now half her circle thinks she sabotaged Hannah's relationship. She's furious but can't admit she's wrong. He added, Hannah and I talked. She's seeing how Mom operates now. They're barely speaking. Mom's losing control of both her kids. Best thing that could have happened. I didn't respond, just saved it. Not my circus anymore. But yeah, there was some justice in Lorraine's manipulation catching up with her. Today's Saturday. I'm in my new apartment. It's smaller, quieter, cheaper. I've got my couch and TV, my gaming setups back in place. No photos of us on the walls. No wedding planning spreadsheets on my laptop. Just space. Next Thanksgiving I'm going to my buddy Marcus's place. His wife already invited me and promised no family drama, just good food and football. Maybe I'll meet someone eventually, maybe I won't. Either way, I'm good. They called me unambitious and mediocre because I didn't make enough money for Lorraine's standards. But I walked away because I'm rich in something they can't measure, self-respect. And that's worth more than any approval they could have given me. Thanks for coming on this ride with me, everyone. I'm out.